Okay, class, we're going to talk about marketing your crops and advertising. You guys have done a um, square footage, it's actually cubic footage because I tell you your pot can't be taller than 1 foot tall. You're doing your end of year production projects. You've been working on those now for at least 5 weeks. You got 4 weeks to finish those up, and they'll be marketed and advertised. So right now you're working on an advertisement. You could do a brochure, you could do a flyer, you could do a pamphlet. I leave that open so that you can think about what best suits your plant and how to market and advertise it. So some considerations when you're marketing and advertising nursery crops is the cost of the inputs, the container, the fertilizer, the chemical, the water, etc. I've tried to share some of those numbers with you, but also it has a lot to do with products we have on hand. Do we buy bulk? Are you just taking the soil that we've already mixed? If you were doing this, you guys have focused on how much can I get for this, but you also need to think about how much you put into the product itself. And so that's definitely a consideration, especially with your own production facility, or if you're working for someone else who they put you in charge of determining how to price something. Here's a nice perennial salvia in a quart. It's got 4 weeks to grow. Right now, I could probably market this for a couple of bucks. If I had some flowers on it, I could probably double my potential revenue. This is going to have nice flowers on it in 4 weeks. If there's a story behind it, if there's something special about it, why is it just a scabiosa? Is it a special kind of pincushion flower? Does it have a special color? Is it rare, unique? Is there a story behind it? Those are all things that could up your potential and revenue. However, when somebody's looking at it, the story might be nice, but it needs to be combined with the quality of the plant as well. This is in a quart. Could I have sold this in smaller size? Could I have sold it in 6-pack? Could I sell it in a bigger pot with more flowers? A lot of that has to do with understanding this plant and understanding that this plant will get maybe a couple feet tall and a couple feet wide, so it's not practical to put this in a much larger pot. But for instance, the apple trees that we were grafting, we could hold those for a year, carry them over into larger pots, and maybe quadruple the money that we bring in for those. So it's all just a consideration of what's the inputs to hold on to those for a whole year, especially when multiple semester classes would be involved in growing those products. So we like products, as you've noticed, that we can start and finish in 1 semester. For the spring plant sale, that's our opportunity to market and sell. But specifically for this project, you guys are doing products that you have a short amount of time to fill up your space and get the best product available in that time, and then market that product. It's like seeds and bulbs and plugs and liners and young tree liners. Do you need to have somebody else start them for you? Somebody that's a professional at starting them? For instance, we've ordered in plugs before in the past. Sometimes we seed. As I look at the flats that we've seeded, some of you guys are really good seeders and some of you guys aren't very good seeders. Some of it is related to the type of plants we've started. Some of them need really precise conditions that we're not providing in the greenhouse. We're trying to grow hundreds of different types of plants in a greenhouse that has one set condition associated with that. So that's kind of hard, and we're trying to uniform the nutrients on everything as well. And so if we were doing things intelligently to optimize our costs, we would try to find out what the local market could bear and what we could educate the local market about, something special, and then we would try to be uniform and do as many as we could without saturating the market. You got to understand your production costs. You got to understand your marketing costs. Here at the college, it's free for us to market our plant sale. We have a good opportunity to reach because we're a not-for-profit and we just plow the money that we make back into the program. That's a great opportunity. But in a for-profit you have to pay for everything. You have to pay for airtime on TV. You have to pay for that prime location on the corner that everybody sees you going by. You have to pay for signage. You have to pay for tags. All of those have associations with it. We bring people to our facility, so we don't ship anything. So our shipping costs are minimum. We do have shipping costs on the inputs of the things coming in, but not loading things onto a truck and taking them to a market far away. Another consideration is market niches. Is there color crops that you can push during a certain season? Are there new plants on the market, things that have been developed, like the heirloom apple trees that we're growing? Is there edible plants or value-added crops? Something that you can increase the value? Is there a way when you're marketing your crop you can shine it up a little bit? This pot is an attractive, nice pot, and it's kind of unique to the market. This is a quart size. Standard is a gallon or a 4-inch. Quart perennial is a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure we could emblaze a logo that says Yavapai College or insert your name, your last name onto this pot and have this be your type of production. But would you do just perennials, or would you do a range of perennials? So there's a lot of questions to consider. Or would you do everything? Would you do annuals, perennials, shrubs, edible, non-edible, ornamentals, veggie starts? It starts getting a little confusing, and that's what we have going on in our greenhouse right now for just to show. So there's ways to make this more attractive. Here's a handwritten tag. How about a nice printed tag with information on that? That definitely ups the potential to market. Okay, so just to summarize, the ultimate success of an ornamental production operation or a edible production operation hinges on the ability of that operation to successfully understand which species and cultivars grow on a year-to-year basis. You want your people to be successful, and you want them to come back for more. So to answer this question, it requires a complex set of inputs, what I've been telling you. It ranges from the type of nursery operation, the location, we'll be talking about location next week, market trends, and so answering these questions will allow growers to not only understand their crop selection, but also plan other short, medium, and long-term business goals. So the goal would be profitability, but sustainability in the marketplace. You don't want to get into business for just a short amount of time. You're looking for long-term success. And in our area where there is not a ton of success, there's a lot of unsuccessful growers, and there's a lot of unsuccessful consumers. Educating the clientele, educating your public is really important. They'll come back for more if you give them that little bit. Maybe I tell them this penstemon's amazing. Maybe I put it in a really cool pot and sell it to them, and they're happy to spend $3, $4, $5 on this potentially. But if I send this to them knowing it doesn't do well in this area, or not understanding when it should bloom or how it should bloom or when it comes back, giving them the opportunity to be successful. Maybe I incorporate a little slow release nutrients into this so that when I send them home with this product, they'll plant it and the nutrients will come with it. So those are just some considerations to think about when you're marketing and advertising. Good luck on your brochure, flyer, or pamphlet.